How can you negotiate the price of your house you've got under contract after you have done the inspections? All right, guys, this is a fantastic question. Thank you for asking it. If you've got a question you'd like to have me answer, type it in the comments below, and I'll create a video just like this for you and for all of my other wonderful YouTube subscribers. Okay, guys, so here's basically the idea. When you make an offer on a house, you've been in the house once, you've maybe been into it for like 15 minutes. So you're writing this contract with some contingencies. Those contingencies are, you want to make sure the house appraises for what you're buying it for. The contingencies are is you want to do an inspection to make sure the quality of the condition and things of the house are there. The other thing that you're maybe making your purchase condition upon is your loan, being able to get a loan at the terms, the rates, and those things that you are wanting to. Those are the things that are built into most purchase contracts and are probably built into the one you're using, or if not, you can ask us and we can get you one that you can check out. All of that said, when you're doing that, if let's say you agree to some price of $100,000, let's just use some easy numbers here, and let's say that you go and do your inspection. Now with your inspection, you may find some things. You may not find some things. Keep in mind, the inspection isn't just an inspection, it's an inspection and it's an evaluation. So you can literally, it's typically called a due diligence. You can pull out for any reason, even if it's just you got indigestion. And that's why an inspections period is so vague, because it's fully and 100% at the buyer's discretion. It's not at the seller's discretion as to if you can pull out of the contract or not. So really, you can pull it for any reason. That reason may be you had a bad feeling about it. That reason may be because you didn't know something about the property, or you met the neighbors. And so that's one thing I tell people quite frequently is like, get everything under contract. Don't try and overanalyze it. It's a mistake a lot of people make, is they try and overanalyze everything. Get it under contract, but make sure you use a contract that has protections, and those protections are going to give you some deadlines, which gives you extra time to do your due diligence to make sure you really want to move forward with the purchase. Now, if you don't want to move forward with the purchase, know that and give the decency to let the seller know. And if you don't, you may put some earnest money at jeopardy. But of course, if you only put an insignificant amount of earnest money and you have your contract written properly, meaning that the earnest money is the only thing the seller can take from you, you're really not out much, other than it's just not a cool thing to do to a seller, right? But if you had to, you could. All of that said, get things under contract. That's a big mistake I see people making all the time, is they're delaying getting things under contract. Get it under contract and figure out later. So next thing is, it's going to depend on what type of market. If the market's like ultra hot and there's backup offers and there's other people that are coming, you're going to have a hard time getting a seller to renegotiate the price after an inspection, unless you have like some concrete things. Meaning, if you've gotten a full inspection on the property and that inspection says that the sewer's failing, and now the seller knows about it, because if the seller knows about it and they're selling the house traditionally and not selling it as is, the seller's required to disclose that on a seller's disclosure form. So now they know that, they'll have to disclose it to the next buyer, and the seller's gonna say, you know, we're probably gonna have to fix it for the next guy as well, so we might as well just fix it now. But you are taking a risk if it's a if it's a seller's market and there's multiple offers on things. You could get yourself in a risk where you could actually lose the deal because the seller's gonna say no and go to somebody. It's a backup offer if it's a really hot market. If it's not a hot market, it's a perfect opportunity for you to go back and say, hey, during our inspections and due diligence, either A, we found something and we want to have you fix it, or B, just lower your price and we'll take care of it, or simply, we've ran the numbers, we've looked at everything, we can't pay what we thought we could, we need to be at this price. If you're willing to put it at this price, we're willing to move forward. Now, again, it really depends on the market. If you're in a super soft market and there's not a lot of buyers out there, you're in the driver's seat. You can say, nope, this is what we want to do, and you can be in the driver's seat. If it's a really hot market or a seller's market, you're not in the driver's seat, and you're not going to be able to have as much time in doing a renegotiation or even doing a renegotiation period, unless you can find something concrete concrete about the property, but depending upon how hot that seller's market is, someone else may come in and say, you know what, I'll pay for that, don't worry, and sell me the house because they just want to have a house so bad, they're willing to pay extra for it and deal with the problems that exist there. So that's what you've got to realize. But the way of negotiating, the question that's being asked here is, how do I negotiate? It's simply that. You're just saying, we want to adjust the price because we've done our inspections and due diligence, and here it is. Now, when you write the contract out, you're just doing an addendum and say, buyer and seller agree, purchase price will be $150,000. And so that's all you got to do. You don't have to, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You just do it. Now, if you're going direct to seller, now you need to have an explanation. And I recommend you do. You just go back to the seller and say, hey seller, you know, we ran into some problems. I'm going to put a pencil to this. The numbers just don't jive. It just doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, the best I can pay you is this amount. Or you can go to the seller and say, hey, we've looked at this. Here's all the problems we found with the property. We're willing to move forward, but this is the most we can pay for the property. So that's the thing that that's really all you're saying. And you're talking to them. But if it's an MLS or you're working with an agent, you just give them a straight up price. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It means a lot to me, and it tells YouTube I am doing a great job. Now, if you'd like to get a repair checklist, I'll give you one free. This repair checklist is really good because when you're going around the property, it helps you identify things wrong with the property, which in turn helps you be able to go have a talk with the seller. I'll send you a free copy of that. All you've got to do is email me, all you've got to do is text me your email address. The phone number is 435-294-0433. Just text me your email address and I will send that over to you. I've got a blog also on real estate investors, negotiating tips for buyers and sellers. So I'll send that over to you. I'll put it in the comments below so you can check it out as well. I also have a video, how to negotiate house prices after the offer is accepted, which is similar to this, but it's going to give you some more detail on after that offer is accepted. Hope you enjoy it. Otherwise, make it a profitable day, and I'll talk to you real soon.